The union representing Ontario's public elementary school teachers strongly denounces Doug Ford's vow to revert to the 1998 sex ed curriculum, calling the move irresponsible, and saying it will vigorously defend any teacher who sticks with the 2015 lesson plan. At the annual meeting of the Elementary Teachers Federation of Ontario, members were told Monday to exercise their professional judgment when it comes to the current curriculum. Sam Hammond, president of the Elementary Teachers Federation of Ontario, addresses delegates at the Sheridan Centre, Toronto on Monday, calling the Ford government's plan to roll back the sex ed curriculum irresponsible. Jim Rankin, Toronto Star, teachers will not be muzzled by a government whose political agenda takes precedence over the protection and education of their students, said ETFO President Sam Hammond during opening remarks at the Sheridan Centre Toronto Hotel. The government's decision to revert to the 1998 health and physical education curriculum while initiating further consultation is irresponsible, discriminatory and jeopardizes the safety of the students that we teach, said Hammond, garnering a standing ovation. The union, which represents 83,000 educators, will support any member who teaches the current curriculum and will pursue all options to respond appropriately to the government's reckless behavior, said Hammond, adding the government's actions conflict with teachers' responsibilities and obligations to their students. Article continued. Bella Wetfo is joining a growing chorus of critics opposed to the Ford government's plan to get rid of the liberal sex ed curriculum introduced in 2015 and replace it with lesson plans used between 1998 and 2014. Of concern to many school boards, healthcare groups and teacher unions is that the older curriculum doesn't address issues such as cyberbullying, internet safety, same-sex families, gender, and informed consent. Read more. I was pulled from sex ed class, did not learn about my body and was abused. The naked truth about how the repealed sex ed program compares to the 1998 one that replaces it. Opinion, sex ed changes will only harm children. After his speech, Hammond told reporters it's unclear what disciplinary action a teacher could face by openly flouting the province, saying, "We'll deal with those cases on a case-by-case basis as we go forward." His comments were echoed by Marit Stiles, the new Democrat MPP for Davenport, who served as a trustee for the Toronto District School Board. Article continued below. This is uncharted territory because what we are seeing is, clearly, a curriculum that is being rolled back, Stiles told reporters at the meeting. It's really up to this government to provide clarity and directives, and without doing that they are putting teachers at risk, and that's completely unacceptable. During the election, Ford's progressive conservatives vowed to scrap the current sex ed curriculum and hold public consultations with parents, which are set to begin in the fall. Education Minister Lisa Thompson has said she expects teachers to revert to the old lessons. The Minister of Education is confident that teachers will teach the curriculum last used in 2014, said her spokesman Ben Menka on Monday. We look forward to engaging in one of the most robust consultation processes in the history of Ontario's education system. Our commitment remains to ensure that Ontario's children are protected while their parents are respected. With just weeks until school starts, educators say they have not been given official directives from the Ministry of Education, do not have the previous curriculum readily available, and that recently hired teachers are not familiar with the old lessons. One school board in Northern Ontario says it will stick with the new curriculum, and a number of others boards have said they'll go back to teaching the old curriculum, but will cover topics such as gender issues and same-sex families. Also Monday, the union representing publicly funded English Catholic schools posted a memo on its website telling its 45,000 members to teach the curriculum directed by their school board administration. Members of the Ontario English Catholic Teachers Association are also being advised to never meet privately with students to answer questions related to sexual education, as Deputy Premier Christine Elliott suggested in recent comments. These types of private discussions with students could result in investigation by police, Children's Aid Society, and the Ontario College of Teachers, and could lead to criminal charges and/or loss of one's teaching certificate, the memo said. Liz Stewart, president of the association, told the Star teachers want definitive direction. "Our members are very concerned. We are all a little confused," said Stewart, who called the 1998 curriculum extremely outdated. She's urging teachers to follow the direction from your school board, use the resources they tell you to use, but use your professional judgment should a student ask a question. The Ontario Catholic School Trustees Association has told its school boards to stick with the current curriculum and that if it needs to be updated, in response to ministry directives, that will be dealt with at a later time. Last week, families of LGBTQ youth launched a human rights case saying their children will be harmed and their rights violated if the old curriculum is taught. And, the Canadian Civil Liberties Association said once a formal directive is issued to school boards ordering them to comply with the old curriculum, it will seek a court order to block it. On Tuesday, NDP leader Andrea Horwath will deliver a speech to ETFO members, followed by a 12:30 p.m. protest at Queen's Park. With files from Rob Ferguson and Star Archive.